Last week, Terran Armstead didn't just toss a compliment out there. He made waves. Comparing Tua Tagovailoa to Drew Brees isn't something you say lightly, especially when you've stood in the trenches protecting both. He didn't back down either. Over the weekend, he stood firm, defending his take by talking about the feel of each quarterback, the rhythm they carry, how they handle pressure, and somehow, it all leads back to one glaring difference: the offensive line. Drew Brees was spoiled in New Orleans, protected like a vault. His line gave him room to breathe, time to think, a pocket he could trust. That trust, that's everything. In Miami, Tua's never really had that. He's had flashes. He's had short streaks of solid protection. But consistency, not quite. And that lack of reliability has become the silent undercurrent of his development. It's like every snap comes with a breath, held just a little too long. And here's where it gets sticky. Tua's got that snap release, faster than most, quicker than defenders can react. That buys him some space, but the league's caught on. Defenses are clogging his reads, jamming the short game, forcing him to hold the ball just long enough to turn that release into a liability. Now the line has to do more. Hold blocks longer, anchor deeper, and that's where things start to crack. There was effort this offseason. Miami didn't sit on its hands. They drafted Jonas Savaiania, a young tackle with tools, and signed James Daniels, a proven guard who brings experience. Austin Jackson's coming back, hopefully healthy, and there's talk about Patrick Paul, big body, potential, still unproven. On paper, there's movement, but that's just the surface. When you really look, depth becomes the problem. A huge one. The kind of problem that doesn't show up until it's too late. The moment a starter goes down, what's behind them? Liam Eichenberg? Larry Borum? Guys have been around, sure, but neither exactly a game changer. If those are your top fallback options, how strong can you feel about surviving a long season? The Dolphins have 10 players listed on the offensive line. That sounds like a lot until you dig into it. Of those, Eichenberg and Borum are the only two with 5 years of NFL play. The rest? A total of 4 seasons among them. That's thin. Dangerously thin. And then there's the position listing. Only one true guard in Daniels. Tackle. A few names, but Jackson Carman is the only one with any real experience beyond Paul, who's still a maybe. So now, heading into 2025, we're looking at a starting unit that's decent, maybe even above average, but with a bench that could unravel it all. One injury away from scrambling. One busted ankle from reshuffling the entire front. And that reshuffle, it won't be pretty. It never is when the backups haven't been tested. Chris Grier still has time. The window's not shut. Players will be cut. Free agents are still out there. Veterans who've seen it all, played in hostile crowds, held their ground against top-tier edge rushers. But the question is, will he move? Will he see the red flags waving behind his starters? Or will he trust the unproven names, hoping they grow in time, gambling that things stay healthy? That gamble's cost is high. You've seen what happens when the protection falters. Tua doesn't get sacked every time, but the rhythm's gone. The pocket collapses. He rushes, throws off balance, gets jittery. And you feel it in the offense. Drives stall. Red zone trips and in-field goals instead of touchdowns. It's all connected. The irony is, Tua's strength is rhythm, timing, quick reads, fast release, ball placement. But if protection's off, all that disappears. He gets forced into improvisation. That's not his game. That's chaos. And while he can survive it, he doesn't thrive in it. It strips the offensive identity. It turns explosive plays into desperate heaves. Look at what Armstead said. He wasn't praising Tua lightly. He sees something real, something that echoes Brees. The vision, the leadership, the command. But even Brees wouldn't have become Brees without that wall in front of him, without the comfort of knowing the pocket had his back. This year, we've got young talent and a couple solid veterans. That mix can work. It can build into something, but it needs time. And time is something you don't have when the season starts rolling. If Grier doesn't reinforce the bench, doesn't stack this line with enough depth, we're back in the same boat, holding our breath every time the camera pans to the line after a play, praying everyone's getting up.